All right. Answers by guess. Video number 2, audio number
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
AFC North Preview. Remember, guys, always like us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Patreon. And always look for those hashtags, Answers by Guess, and ABGFF. As I mentioned, AFC North Preview. So you got your Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cleveland Browns. Jump right into it, sir.
Yeah.
5 guys for your eyes.
Answers by guess. Season 7 inside scoop from outside the box. We're not going to tell you about the people your mom knows. We're going to tell you to look out for some other fellers.
All right. Number 5 on your list is somebody that we should be familiar with from last year.
Yeah, well, last 2 years, right? Because he was a rookie 2 years ago.
2 years ago, that sounds right.
And the Browns, 2 years ago, you throw it out the window. Last year was ho-hum until Watson got there. This is the last year on his rookie contract. They're going to figure out a way to get him on the field. He's just way too explosive. He's a running back, but he could play wide receiver. They could use him in the slot. They've been doing that in training camp. They need extra people. They got Cooper. They got DPJ, and Njoku at tight end. Obviously, they got Chubb. Kareem Hunt's not there anymore. So,
big one.
Enter Demetrius Demetric. I was reading there, Demetrius Demetric.
I'm off on names today. I missed an N. Now it's Demetrius
Demetric. AFC East, now the AFC North. Let's see if we can go 3rd time's the charm next one. But that's okay, Rob.
We're just starting the season off, brother.
Listen,
don't worry. I'm not in that form yet.
We are 2 guys in the basement. We're not making money off this. Nobody's paying us anything. We're doing this. We're giving you 5 guys for your eyes so you can strive for the prize. We're trying to help you win, which is why it sucks to be in a league with Answers by Guess people because, well, I'm in league with Answers by Guess people, and I'm telling all these guys to pick up, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to pick them up. So Demetric Felton, they need that second running back. He's going to split out wide as well. Last year on his rookie contract, they're going to look for ways to get him. This guy can be absolute last draft pick, or you can wait until after the draft, see what he does during the preseason, or if the preseason's over and then you draft, which most people do. You just scoop him because I've loved him for years. This is 3rd time's the charm once again, and Demetric Felton is a guy you need to keep your eye on.
I like the dual. That's the part that the fact that he could be wide receiver and he'll probably play some running back, like you're saying, man. Touches is the key to the game. All right, number 4 has a lot of names there.
Yeah, a bit of a cheat here, but it's the Ravens, and they got all these ancillary guys. We always talk about the ancillary guys in the Answers by Guess. They got Laquan Treadwell, who has been popping off here and there the past couple of years. He was like a top 5 pick as a rookie, but just keeps sprouting up on teams that need him to pop in, and he's doing well when he's getting a shot. James Proche. We don't know how to pronounce it. It depends on how fancy we feel. We were waiting for him to pop off last year. Never really did. Mike Thomas, not Michael Thomas. Mike Thomas was in Cincinnati for a while. He was drafted by the Rams. He was an absolute stud in college. They're going to need someone extra because it's Odell and Bateman. And if we know anything about Odell and Bateman, they're always hurt. And yes, they got Andrews. I don't like Andrews this year. Rob, you traded him in the Dynasty League. I think that was very smart. I think he's at the end, and you're going to see a lot more Likely this year. Likely proved that he could do it by himself, but I think you'll see both of them together. And the reason I'm so high on wide receivers, these extra guys for Baltimore, Lamar's come straight out and said, I want to pass for like 6,000 yards. He's talking smack to Patrick Mahomes. He wants to prove that he can throw the ball. So that means somebody's going to have to catch his passes. And, you can overdraft Odell, which everybody's going to do. Bateman's going to fall because he didn't do much last year because he was hurt. But they're both injury prone. And I'm not saying these guys are the pick of the litter, but there's somebody that you need to know at least their name and have seen it, have your eye on it so that when the time comes, you can be like, oh, I heard about that guy on ABG, pluck, and you grab him. Because Baltimore's going to need pass catchers because Lamar wants to throw passes. And he's come straight out and said that.
So Lamar wants to throw passes to number 3 as well.
Yeah, see, and this is why I didn't group him with those guys because he's the rookie. He's the shiny new toy, and he's obviously at this point in his career. I mean, Laquan Treadwell, like I said, was a top 5 pick, but he's got more pedigree than these other guys, and there's already been glowing reports about Zay Flowers in Baltimore. So he's somebody you're going to have a tougher time getting. But when it comes to time, rounds 10 or so, depending on how well he does in the preseason, you need a bench wide receiver. This is a guy I say, go ahead and you grab him. You might catch lightning in a bottle because, again, he's going to need someone extra to throw to. And there's a very good chance Odell gets hurt and Bateman gets hurt for extended periods of time.
I like it, man. They're talking, yeah, right. They're talking real high on Flowers already. All right, number 2. Oh, somebody we heard about last year.
This was my guy last year. I was waiting all year. He was on IR the entire season from the beginning till it ended. And I'm telling you right now, this is a guy that nobody knows about. Very few people, unless you watch ABG. Rob, if you weren't doing this with me, you probably wouldn't know who he was.
I had to ask you about him last year, Calvin Austin.
Yeah, they got Deontay, my boy, and yeah, they got Pickens, but Calvin Austin is going to pop right into that slot. The dude is so fast. He runs such good routes. He's going to be an absolute stud for this team. I'm going to go out on a limb. If he stays healthy, he's catching 100 passes. 100.
Ooh, wow.
100.
That's a big number.
100. I'm talking like Edelman, Welker, Cooper Kupp type player.
I like it.
With a little more jazz.
Yeah.
He's good, man. And listen, if it doesn't happen, I'll be very surprised. And you can call me out on that. But we're ABG, we're the inside scoop from outside the box, and he is my biggest, I would say, outside the box player. I was waiting for him last year. I held him on my bench in multiple leagues forever. I've been trying to get him in other dynasty leagues. I mean, people aren't letting him go. I want him. And you should.
What's funny is that Allen Robinson is going to be overdrafted because he went to Pittsburgh and, again, the name. And don't get me wrong, he could be better than he was, in the other locations. But still, it's like, I'd rather take a chance on Austin.
I mean, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have Pickens and Deontay. You're going to have Calvin Austin in the middle. And when they go 4 or they need to sub somebody out, that's when Allen Robinson's going to come in. So he might surprise and do better than other seasons, and I'm rooting for him, but I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I could see him and Freiermuth being the red zone guys, giving you a big target in the back, kind of deal.
Yep.
Especially if they're within the 20. All right, number 1 on your list. He was going to be somebody that I was going to mention, but I'm so happy that he's number 1 on your list, Mr. Irv Smith.
Yeah, we're counting down worst to the best, but best to the even better. And Calvin Austin could have been number 1, but man, big baby Irv. Boy, have we been waiting for him. The move of getting Hawkinson to Minnesota made him expendable. The Bengals have been looking for this type of tight end. Rob Bonus on the AFC East was the old dude that they had, CJ Uzoma. And you saw what Burrow did with him. And I'm sorry, Rob. I know he's your Rob Bonus, and I like your dialogue on him. And I agree with you, but Irv Smith is better than CJ. I think at tight end. He's younger.
I agree.
He's more spry. And I just think this is the piece that Cincinnati was missing. I just think.
It has to be health, man. If he can stay on the field, we can see what he can do. Especially, there are games that you're right, that he was no good. We saw that he would disappear. And then all of a sudden he'd come back with 7 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's the Irv Smith that we want to see. A healthy Irv Smith in Cincinnati could be very dangerous.
I love it.
All right, here's my raw bonus for the AFC North.
That's my favorite part of the show.
It's an answer by guess special inside scoop from outside the box. Mr. Chase Brown.
Very good. Very nice.
They are talking this kid up. There is no more P. Ryan. Joe Mixon is having his issues off the field. They have Chris Evans that they like, but if Mixon gets suspended or they try to trade Mixon early because they've been trying to do that for quite some time, Chase Brown, they're saying, is a rookie coming in with veteran experience based on his routine. For a kid to be 21 years old, coming in the way he's coming, I am praying to God in our dynasty draft on Sunday that I didn't just shoot myself in the foot by putting this man on the radar.
Well, listen, he was on my radar, so now I'm just a little angry that I know that he's on your radar. So but listen, hey, I thought my list was ridiculous. I said Felton, the Baltimore guys, Austin, my boy, Irv Smith, big sexy boy, and Cincy. I think you won. I think you won.
Irv Smith's up there, man. I think if he stays healthy, that's going to be fantastic.
Your thoughts are spot on because the whole Mixon situation, no P. Ryan being there, it's just a perfect setup. And, people should know about him. And a lot of people sometimes don't know about the rookies. The more grizzled players may. And sometimes the novices don't. Well, novices, if you're watching, you just got somebody to keep your eyes on. Put all 3 eyes on them, man.
Oh, yeah. And I just think he has that opportunity. Yeah, I just think he has – they need a steady running back. Evans, I don't think is that guy. He's your in between the tackles. He's going to get you yards. I feel like this kid, Chase Brown, could do everything. He's he's that athletic,
I liked Evans last year, but they like to go with 2 if they can every once in a while. We saw with P. Ryan and Mixon, and if something happens to Mixon, you're 100%. And you know what? And if nothing happens to Mixon, it's going to be Mixon and Brown. And Evans will be the 3rd guy.
I think that could happen. I don't think it'll be early, but this is something that, again, in a dynasty league, you're definitely drafting him. 100%. But even in your standard leagues, this is somebody you're adding to your watch list because he may go undrafted unless you're taking him with the last pick. But he's on your watch list. He's on the top because you're going to hear training camp and they're going to be like, oh, man, who's this Chase Brown? Who's that? Yeah. And that's when you scoop him or you already have him on your team when people are looking for him.
Yeah. Inside scoop from outside the box. AFC Guest Season 7. Stay tuned for more pop-up videos. We're doing our preseason division rundown. 5 guys for your eyes. You can strive for the prize.
I love it. Answers by guess. Peace.
See ya.